Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I don't roll like this. Hey, if a bad guy said a good thing, I'm not going to use it. No, I don't care who that person is. If I can use whatever a person said, good, not good, more good than bad or more bad than good person, I don't care. I don't care about that person's character or his actions. Whatever he said, was that smart? Was that deep? Can I use it? Should I incorporate it in my mind, in my worldview? I will use it. And I will say it again. And probably I will use that person's name in a quotation marks right there. This is what this guy said. Unfortunately, in this world we live nowadays, if you do this, you will be called immediately a bad person because that person was a bad person. So if, let's say, Stalin at one point invented the cure of cancer, and I will say, well, it was Stalin who invented the cure of cancer. We're not going to use it because it was Stalin. He did so many things that are bad, and he's a bad dude. See how idiotic that might be? And I pushed it to an extreme, so I don't have any idiotic counter-arguments to make, for any idiotic attacks. So the same here. I will use Putin, the bad guy, who said in one of his videos, if you watched it, I think you still can watch it on YouTube, we still have this kind of freedom still, where he said everything that US touches destroys or turns into ruin, referring to the Middle East. He was defending at that time Syria. He said, if the Americans are allowed to do in Syria what they did in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and Yugoslavia, but then we're not going to allow them. That's why the Russians, put their foot in the door or whatever and said, you know what, we're here to stay. We're not going to let you destroy the Middle East. And that's what he said. And this article that I have here, I think will exemplify what Putin said. Let me show you. Bloomberg, today, November 5, 2023. Putin's move to secure Libya bases is new regional worry for US. So, the Americans and their lapdogs or vassal states, bottom feeders, were the ones that imposed a no-fly zone over a sovereign independent country. Remember what NATO is, okay? North Atlantic Treaty Organization for Europe. Libya is not in Europe. So I think it overstepped its authority. But hey, they've been doing this for a long time already. They were not attacked. Libya is not in Europe. That's the police of some interest, economic interest. That's what NATO is, and the US Army or military, the same thing. Wherever the economic interest of some want somewhere something done, they, through the government, to the elected officials, they put pressure, call names, tell them they're not good, they violated this, they're not as perfect as we are, and then you change that. But we're going to impose sanctions and say, no, what can we do? Well, we've got to allow our interests in there. And if things goes further, you're going to have spontaneous regime change, demonstrations. And then if that doesn't work, then you find a reason to say, hey, our national security has been threatened. We have to react in self-defense. Sounds familiar, the self-defense garbage? Yeah, I think so. So what's going on here? With the help of the United States of America, Gaddafi, after that, what happened? The country was in a civil war. I think there's markets of slavery over there with slaves. They still, from what I got my information from, they said, yeah, you're not only one side. The, how do you call it, the drinkable water, not available as it used to, and many. So everything went down. Now, obviously, this guy says, you know what, we're going to allow the enemy, because Russians are bad and the Americans are good, but somehow the guys from Libya don't want the good people they want the bad people. That means they are bad people, right? Yes, because you will never change the idea that those guys are good. They are good, man. But history and record shows a more balanced, between good and bad. Like we can say we're good people. No, we're good and bad. Look back in your life. If you did everything right and good, then good for you. So let's read this little article here. Regional worry for U.S. I don't think United States is by Libya, is it? If you look over that, is the United States located by Libya? I mean, last time I checked, these guys are North Africa or somewhere here, right? Libya here, right? Where they're here. The United States is a little bit right here. So, regional worry. So that means you have interest in the area. Where is Russia, though? Russia is much closer. Let me put it right now. Russia is much closer. So these guys should have been worried when these guys from here, well, they intervened, right? The guys from far away came closer to these guys. And these guys did say something? Yes, they did. Did they do something? No, because at that time they were not strong. Now they are strong. They're fighting, 30 countries in Ukraine? And it seems like they're winning because pretty soon we're going to have a collapse of Ukrainian front. So let's go back to this little article, see how they frame it. Russia is moving to expand its military presence in eastern Libya, a plan that could lead to a naval base, giving it a significant foothold on Europe's southern doorstep. What about, I think it's not Europe's, it's American southern doorstep. I mean, it's like, I can make you wherever you are. If you're in the Philippines, or I don't know, in France, or Zimbabwe, my friends, I can call you that you are really threatening my southern or eastern or western flank. I can make that happen, and I will say it. Regardless of our distance, I will call you that because I want. And if I want, I will say it. So these guys are covering Europe's southern doorstep. So that means Russia's southern doorstep, right? Because Russia is also in Europe. So what are you talking about? But no, Russia is not in Europe. See how these guys frame the garbage? A defense account is being hammered. A cord, is being hammered out between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Libya's eastern military commander Khalifa Haftar, following their meeting in Moscow in late September, according to people briefed on the matter, who asked not to be identified, blah, blah, blah. There's escalation. No, it's the security. They bring security. The other guys escalated and destroyed. These guys bring security. Or at least they didn't bring anything yet. We know what the other guys brought. And the other guys brought tragedy. Their intervention and support for whatever resulted in this. It's the same thing as the First World War and the Second World War. The so-called Peace of Versailles, that was the garbage created by some idiots who wanted to destroy Germany even more. Remember, it was not Germany who started the war, the First World War. It was not Germany. Nevertheless, they got, right? So England and France, these were the main guys, want to have no competition in Europe. So they try to destroy these guys so badly, justified to some extent. And if you look at national interest or security, they wanted a very weak Germany. But in there, I would say hatred and being scared, they tried to limit it, and that resulted in what? People voting, 33% for those guys? And then those guys appointed legally that guy as a chancellor. And then they did some bad stuff, and he did the same thing as others. For your safety, I will just destroy, and I will make it illegal for every other parties to be available. No, it was not Zelensky. No. Yeah, he did that too. For your safety, I will ban political parties. I will ban media. I will ban this. I will ban that. But no. It was not. It was the bad dude. The bad, not the baddest. The evil. Now you say, I see this in boxing or in MMA, the baddest mofo in the world. That's like a quality. So that's why you can't use now that the baddest, because that's a good thing, it seems like. Now you have to say the most evil. So the most evil did all that to provide safety to the citizens. Took their weapons, did he? No? Burned books. What kind of books he burned? Can you check? Remember? Well, anyway, I'm against burning books, that's for sure. But I'm for protecting the children for certain kind of things that they cannot understand at that point. Either way, not propagandize them, with this one, and I'm going to protect you from this, but I'm not going to protect you from the government propaganda. It's going to regiment you. And I'm going to give you one worldview. And when you grow up, it's going to be hard to discard it. Like, for instance, you're in the Sunday school. Is that what it is? It's going to be hard for you to say, hey, maybe that's nothing. It's going to be much harder for some. Anyway. So, yes, they're going to have military bases over there, or at least a, how do you call it, naval base over there. And that's the resultant of these guys. So the same thing happened in many other countries like Iraq, like Afghanistan. All these guys did not like what United States of America brought. And now they are in some European countries. So now we're supposed to cry about it. I'm supposed to support the guys who create or were part of the problem, because Iraq and Afghanistan, it was not part of the problem. They were the initiator of that. They invaded two countries that were supposedly sovereign and independent. They invaded. They bombarded Yugoslavia. Okay, the sovereign. It was not a United Nations Security Council vote to say yes, you can do that, but they did it nevertheless. Why? Because they can. That's how the world is ran. Talk about international law and the rule-based world order. This is garbage. It's like in your company, wherever you work. Certain things, you always have policies. But someone in charge can always change the policy or circumvent the policy. And it's an emergency. Okay? Or at that time, they allow you to think outside the box. That means circumventing the rule. That's thinking. Now they bring that in. But when your boss tells you something, they say, no, that policy is garbage. Well, sir, let's think outside the box. No, it doesn't work then. It works only when they want it. And who's they? The strong. And not necessarily the strong, because I would be agreeing with the strong leading. The problem, we have garbage leading. That's what it is. And that tells you how the dynamics in our society function, how the forces allow weak people to become presidents, vice presidents, military chief of staffs, commanders-in-chief and of the military and all that. And that tells you what they tell us about meritocracy and be a good person and all that. Go and pick up the garbage. Go and wash dishes with that. Go and drive trucks with that. Something like that. The good work, let it for us. Okay? And how do you get there? Look in the political sphere. Look in the media sphere. Do you think those are the cream of the cream? I don't think so. Are mediocre at best. So the problem here is Russia goes in. Why? The same in Africa. Russia just told, it was a balance before Ukraine war. The war in Ukraine, when these guys want to destroy the other guys. There was a balance, and Russia said, well, no, we're not going to activate. The American says, well, you have nothing to activate. We do whatever we want. And the Russian says, we're going to react. And these guys, in their arrogance and ignorance and paranoia, or how should I put it, narcissism, they thought they got the world by the balls. But they didn't. They didn't understand that they are not the same stock of people that they used to be in their society. Their civilization was the same as in the 40s, 30s, 50s. That's about it. No, they're not. And they're like, you don't train for years and you're like 60, fat, and you say, and you used to be a, national champion in track and field, and say, well, I still can run if I want. No, it's just in your head. You can't run, but you don't know that. You're so deluded. That's why the United States right now. The United States thinks that if they want, they can switch their economy and we are the same as they were in the 40s. No, you're not. You're going to be losing because you're going to have so much tolerance and people are going to say, my safe space. So you're not hardened anymore by life. So you're going to be losing. I mean, we're going down. We're going down. But because it's a big, big ship, it takes a while to go down, even if the iceberg is big. Well, my friends, here it is. The Russians activated their garbage and said, yeah, it's about our survival. Then they activated in South America. They activated their garbage in Africa, in Asia, and in the Middle East. And the Americans right now are, and in Europe. And Americans are right now, what happened? And they're still ideologues. And say, well, we're still good, we're still good. We're still, yeah, we're good, yeah, bullshit. All right, actions, my friends. Actions speak louder than voice and all that words. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.